Hello, fourth graders. It's Miss Montiel. Thank you for joining me for today's reading mini lesson. Our lesson focus for today will be the different genres of fiction books. Our goals for today will be to learn the different genres of fiction and to understand the characteristics of fiction. For today's lesson, you will need your reader's notebook and a pencil. Let's get started. All right, readers, we are going to first go over the characteristics of fiction. Fictional stories are made up. That means that they're not true. The characters in the story are not real. You read fictional text in order, beginning, middle, end. Story elements that are included are setting, which is where the story takes place, problem, what goes wrong in the story, and solution is how the problem is fixed. The purpose of these texts is usually to entertain readers. So these are the characteristics of fiction. I like to think of fiction as a big umbrella because there are different genres of fiction, and we're going to go over those today. So one of those genres is realistic fiction. Then we have fantasy, historical fiction, science fiction, mystery, and traditional literature. We're going to cover traditional literature next week. But all of these are the different genres of fiction. So that's why they're all under the umbrella of fiction. Realistic fiction is a story with characters that are made up. Some of the characteristics to look for in realistic fiction are characters are involved in events that could happen. They tend to take place in the present or recent past. Characters live in places that could be or are real. And the characters seem like real people. I just like to think of this as a story that's not true, but it could happen. Some examples are Spaghetti in a Hot Dog Bun, The Dunderheads, Better Than You, and The Day You Begin. Fantasy is a story that includes elements that are impossible. So some characteristics include magic or magical characters, talking animals or animals that act like humans. It's not realistic, and they typically take place in an imaginary world or place. Some examples include Harry Potter, Magic Puppy, Charlotte's Web, and Dragons Love Tacos. Historical fiction is a made-up story that takes place in the past. Some things to look for is the setting is in the past or a moment in history. Characters are often people who could or did live in the historical setting. And it may include historical facts mixed with fictional events. Some examples include The Other Side, Freedom on the Menu, and the I Survive series. Science fiction is a fictional story that includes science and technology. The setting can take place in the future, space, or imagined places. It can include made-up characters like aliens, robots, mutants, or other futuristic beings. And it's based on scientific facts, theories, and principles. Here are some examples of science fiction. Mystery is a suspenseful story about a puzzling event, something unknown, or a crime. Characteristics include a detective or amateur investigator, and the characters are realistic. A crime or event is usually solved at the end, and it includes clues or puzzles. Here are some examples of mystery novels. So again, we went over realistic fiction, fantasy, historical fiction, science fiction, and mystery. And all of these are different genres of fiction. Right, so we went over 5 different genres of fiction, and we will go back and we'll talk about traditional literature next week. Now, you should have your reader's notebook and your pencil. If you don't, please go get that now. After you have your reader's notebook and your pencil, you're going to go to your mini lessons tab and you are going to open up to the next blank page. Like Ms. Armstrong and Ms. Turner said, it's important that we are going in order. Right. So what you're going to do now, readers, you're going to write down this information as it appears on this page in your reader's notebook. Remember to pause the video if you need more time to write. All right, let's start with the date. Today is October 6, 2020. You're going to write a title for this page, and you're going to write different genres of fiction. We're going to write the definition of each of the genres, starting with realistic fiction. A realistic story with characters that are made up. Next is fantasy, a story that includes elements that are impossible. Remember, like magic or talking animals. Next, we have historical fiction, a made-up story that takes place in the past. Science fiction, a fictional story that includes science and technology. Mystery, a suspenseful story about a puzzling event, something unknown, or a crime. All right, readers, once you're done writing the different genres and their definition, I want you to draw a smiley face next to your favorite genre of fiction. So just choose one from this list and draw a smiley face next to it. Once you are all done, I want you to take a picture of this page in your reader's notebook. So what you just wrote down right now, readers, you're going to take a picture of that. And for today's Schoology assignment, you're going to go to today's folder. You're going to the must do folder. And you're going to look for the discussion post that says upload fiction assignment here. And you're going to upload the picture of your reader's notebook that you just took. All right, that is your assignment for today. All right, readers, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.